Well, certainly. A perfect example. One of my efforts in this whole process of running for office, especially being a new candidate, first time ever running for office, is that I've been eagerly gathering as much information as I can about best practices existing in the district. I've identified that at the Freedom School. The Freedom School is a Children's Defense Fund program that's right here, nestled in this area of town over off of Webster Avenue. And what they do, they've been able to enjoy great success in that organization due to the fact that we do have small classroom sizes, 15 students per one teacher. But the important point to make is the fact that these students are East High School students, 7th graders, with the highest absentee rates, lowest GPAs, and experiencing great troubles and trying to be successful in their schools. They've been put into the segregated environment at Freedom School, and this year has had many great things. They have enjoyed great levels of parent engagement and involvement. In fact, tonight is their parent night, and they have standing room only. No school can really truly say that when they have parent night, they're standing room only. The Freedom School does, and I think it has a lot to do with the smaller classroom size, the culturally relevant curriculum, and the fact that they are a part of the community.
I have to support this 100% because it's been proven that has shown smaller classes work. We can't cut 130 teachers and cram all these students in these classes. Therefore, somebody's going to get neglected, so we can't do that. We have to stick with this model here that you guys roll out. It's hard. To me, even though a couple students lower, because as I said, 1 or 2 students, 3 or 4 students can get neglected. They can get lost working with all the students, and the teachers are going to lose them. So that's so important. Let's not make it bigger, let's make it smaller. Because like I said, this is about our children's education, and there should be nothing more important than that.
We definitely need smaller class sizes. In a city school district, things can get kind of disrupted in the classroom. If there's 40 students in a classroom and somebody is not going to be learning, someone is going to be neglected. As to whether it's 18, 20, and 22, I ask questions about every policy and trying to make sure that it's the right one. I mean, why not 17? Why not 19? But in general, I say, we need to keep the class sizes as small as we possibly can. I mean, if we can afford to have a class with only 6 children to the school, then we should go ahead and do that. So let's push them as low as we possibly can.
I absolutely would support these numbers as a cap or a limit. Glenn Williams and I have talked about this for years. Seems like the numbers went up. We used to talk about 15 and 20. But I would support these numbers. Now, this is an issue that we need to be very clear about. Research shows that small class size is one indicator of effectiveness and success. It's one indicator. It's not a panacea. We need to understand that. It's critical. It's important. Now, in some cases, we will need even smaller class sizes, depending on the challenges that the students bring with them. So, in every case, the class is going to be this large. It's not going to be effective. Next, we need to understand this. At the high school level, we have classes that can have up to 28 students in them. Yet, when you look at what happens on a daily basis, many of those classes only have in the math 10 to 15 students, sometimes lower than that. So that indicates a more fundamentally serious issue than just dealing with class size in isolation. That's an issue of attendance and finding out why those children are not in the seats and so forth. So we need to be aware of that reality, is what I'm saying. And of course, we have to understand what we're talking about. There's only one way to reduce class size, and it's by hiring more people. And I'm not arguing against that, because I think the resources exist to do that. Where we need to do it, we can realize efficiencies, as they call it, savings in many areas, and we can get the resources to do that without any excuses. But know that money will be an issue when the class size comes up.
Absolutely. Every child needs to have the attention required in order for them to be able to be nurtured as well. And if it's a smaller incremental classroom, the greater the attention on each particular child. But the other thing I want to take a look at is this. I know teachers who have absolute control over a class of 28 kids. I know teachers who can't control 15. right? So this is a very complicated issue, because you can say, yes, we want 16 or 18 kids in the classroom, but if you have teachers who can't control that many, then the issue is much more beyond the numbers. My take on this is, yeah, we want smaller classrooms. I would prefer to have teachers that control classes and be able to effectively